Well, at the midpoint of the group stage here at the World Simulation Football Classic, we've already had one team, the Alpine Federation, confirm their spot in the last 16. Likewise, we've already had one team, the United States, mathematically eliminated. Now we move to groups A and B to see if we can find any other teams that are ready to punch their ticket to the next round. Hello, everyone. I am Metafiction, and we start out in Group A, where Canada will take on West Africa and South America faces Benelux. Then a little later on, we'll be in Group B, where the British Isles and Oceania will square off, as will Eurasia and East Africa. Taking a little bit of a look at Group A, West Africa and Benelux both had impressive wins on match day one. And if both of them win again today, they will confirm themselves as the two qualifiers from Group A. As a result, Canada and South America fighting for their respective tournament lives here on match day two. It's going to be a very exciting set of soccer matches for you today and it'll be really interesting to see how this shakes out. With everything on the line, Canada will start us off against West Africa. Canada with a 4-2-3-1 setup. And as for West Africa, it's a variation on the 4-2-4, with the fullbacks, Adamu and Diane, playing more as wingbacks, a little further advanced. And you see both Benelux and West Africa on 3 points after that first match day. And so this broadcast kicks off with West Africa starting us off, going right to left in the green and red. Canada going the opposite direction in red and black. Bohum trying to find Schweinsteiger in the middle, but nothing doing. Ball trying to pass forward, but Urkel instead finds Justinissen, who found Selic. VAR looking at it. Possible offside. Will it stand? No, it won't. Goal is disallowed. Let's look at the replay again. Justinissen's pass comes just a bit too early or late, depending on your perspective, but Selic going too early past Garfield there in defense, so that goal will not stand. Ashcroft's crossing at the other end. Headed clear. Tentacles sending it back in for Fish, but Fish shoots it well wide. Schweinsteiger over the top for Justinissen, and Justinissen just wide. Another great chance for West Africa, this time not offside, but not on target. Urkel now stands over the free kick, has some good curl on it, but Brickwall Jr., the Reykjavik goalkeeper, able to keep it out of Canada's net. Now Momo Adamu to deliver the corner for West Africa, finds Schweinsteiger, sends it back to Adamu, and Adamu offside. Again, Justinissen plays Selic in, but this time Selic sending it high. Canada now looking to build from the back. Tentacles trying to send it forward to Hagelin. Volta forced back to Garfield there. Hagelin's touch there, loose, and Urkel able to win it. Selic trying to pass inside for Justinissen, but it's Mulgrain instead. Getting inside for Hagelin. Now Tentacles. Passes up the flank. Volta plays it. Velstrazen Smith! Well, it's the player on the pitch with the hardest name to say. Zyklard Dalathron Velstrazen Smith has scored the opener for Canada. It's a great diagonal pass here from Sam Volta from the wing. Velstrazen Smith beating von Bismarck at the near post. So Canada well along the path to the win they need in order to really keep themselves in with a chance going into the final match day. A point would be enough to keep them at least nominally in contention, but 3 points would be a huge help. Mulgrain forward. Ashcroft sending it back. Garfield up to Hagelin. Hagelin finds Volta. Volta dueling with Schweinsteiger. Sends it back. And it goes over the top for Volta. Volta squares at the end line, and Velstrazen Smith was lurking near post again. Ultimately, though, goes wide. Here's Velstrazen Smith again, but Deanne winning the ball well. Bohum up the near wing, inside to Adamu. Has a lot of space. Adamu! And that's an excellent equalizer for Momo Adamu. Great work up the near flank for West Africa. Adamu leaving Velstrazen Smith behind in a lot of space, a lot of time to take that shot, and placed perfectly. Canada won, West Africa won. Schweinsteiger heading it down, Selic gets onto it. Forced out wide by Garfield, but passes inside. Schweinsteiger, and Fish clears it. Now a counterattack. Sinclair releases Velstrazen Smith. Ashcroft and Sinclair forcing a save out of Bismarck. Fish on the delivery. And it's another corner kick. This time it's Volta to deliver. Once again floated in, and once again headed away. He is sending it back to von Bismarck. And again. Inside for Justinison. Now Deanne cutting in. Through ball here. Bohum cuts inside to Adamu. And Adamu almost had a second. Does win the corner though. And that one headed clear. Schweinsteiger has a go from distance, but that one's well wide. Free kick from Farah Diane does win the corner here as it clatters off the wall. Adamu looking to deliver this out to Schweinsteiger, but intercepted by Sinclair. And now this could be a bit of a break for Canada, but they don't really have the numbers. And so Schweinsteiger winning the ball and cutting out that attack. Ashcroft standing over this free kick for Canada. Looking to restore their lead, but von Bismarck with a good save. Now the delivery by Fish from the corner. Went far post, but von Bismarck awake to it. It's been a fairly exciting half of soccer. It's almost at halftime, but Deanne with a great free kick, but it clatters off the bar and behind. So one last moment from that first half, and at the break, it is all square. Canada won, West Africa won. West Africa leading in quantity of chances, Canada arguably in quality, as while both shots have four on target. Both sides have 4 shots on target, rather. Canada leading in XG by almost 0.5. Is anybody's guess how this one will shake out ultimately. Remember, Canada need at least a point to realistically remain in the running. If they can't get that point, they'll be reliant on South America to get a win in their other match. And even then, it might not be enough if that is in fact the case. Canada kicking us off in the second half, but immediately conceding possession to Deanne. Justinison for West Africa. And Deanne forces a corner out of Brickwall Jr. Another delivery for Adamu. And that one dealt with authoritatively by John Garfield. Schweinsteiger nearly beat Volta, but Volta ending up conceding the corner. Looked like it was almost heading into touch, but instead, Adamu stands over another set piece. Delivered in, and Wall, no trouble there. A little under 30 minutes to play, and here come Canada. Ashcroft forced back to Fish. Now Mulgrain. Ashcroft losing out as Diaz sending it back to Von Bismarck. Long ball over the top, looking for Selic there. Can't quite find them. Mulgrain for Canada. Michael gets a foot in, but Ashcroft gets it back. Back to Mulgrain. Around Bohum, sends him across. Headed into the air, Haglund. Just inside the area and forces a save. And Canada really pushing for that winner. They scored the opener, but conceded one not too long thereafter. Now will be looking to reassert themselves on the score sheet in a hope to claim that 3 points. Volta now on the corner kick delivery. And that one headed over the bar. Both teams with strong chances, but Justinison seizing on that error from Kika Ball, but skies the finish. A wasted opportunity there for Tater Justinison and West Africa. Ashcroft intercepting that pass for Canada. Tentacles up the near wing. Plays the 1-2 with Volta. Now here's Haglund in the center. Haglund had Belstrazen-Smith in the middle, decided to go themselves, and ultimately does get a corner out of it. Corner sent in by Fish and headed back out. Citizen can't quite keep it in bounds. Ball rolls through for Zerhuni. Deanne through ball to Selic. Selic cuts it well wide. Now Tentacles with a deep throw for Canada. Haglund. Deanne trying to force back, but Haglund gets around from the edge of the area. And that one had the wrong angle on it. Time ticking down. It's a free kick, a corner kick from Deanne. Schweinsteiger from distance hits some massive bodies and ricochets back out. West Africa retaining possession there, but unable to manufacture another chance. Just over a minute left until added time. Canada looking for a winner, but here come West Africa. Schweinsteiger back for Urkel, and Urkel forcing a save. We will have 4 minutes of added time as Adamu readies for the corner kick. Whipped in, headed up. Bit of a scramble, but Canada just about dealing with it. Here's Sinclair. Is there a bit of last-second magic here for either side? Tentacles. Cuts it inside. Haglund losing out. Did go down, but the referee said play on. And now Urkel Deanne intercepting the pass. Finds Schweinsteiger. Is this a counterattack? Deanne crosses the end line. And Bohum goes down in the 6-yard box. The referee has blown for the penalty. At the end of added time, VAR looking at it, and the penalty has been given. Alexandros Mograine yellow carded. But the real story would be if Tater Justinison can put this penalty away. And they can! That's as close to a walk-off as you're ever going to get in soccer. Tater Justinison with the penalty to put West Africa up 2-1 in the dying seconds. And it's a dagger for a Canada side that fought so hard all match. Looked like they'd earned a draw. Soccer can be such a cruel game sometimes as the final whistle goes and West Africa with a dramatic closing seconds 2-1 victory. It was Zyklon Dalathron Velstrazen Smith with the opener for Canada. That was the score for a while, 1-0 in favor of Canada. And to Canada's credit, a very strong performance on all fronts. Looked to me like they'd done just about enough to earn at least a point from this one. But it's West Africa with goals from Momo Adamu and then that dramatic last-second penalty from Tater Justinison, your player of the match. That puts West Africa on 6 points. Well, that is a classic result, an amazing match. And Canada now all but eliminated from this tournament as West Africa potentially booking their ticket to the next round. Might depend on the result of this next match as South America take on Benelux. Benelux, of course, defeating Canada on match day 1. South America defeated by West Africa. South America in a similar situation to Canada, looking to at least try to keep themselves alive going into that final match. Meanwhile, Benelux looking very impressive in their first match. Could be one of the favorites once, if and when they make it to the knockout round. Have to see if they can keep that form up here. It's a 4-2-4 for South America, and Benelux also with a 4-2-3-4, but Miedema with a little bit more of an advanced role in midfield. West Africa there on 6 points, not through yet. But if Benelux were to win this, then neither South America nor Canada could catch either of them. And we are underway here on the final match day 2 for Group A. South America looking to stay alive. Benelux looking to confirm their advancement. Chicken crosses in, and it's headed in by Jean-Claude Goddamn. Dangerous for Reykjavik and dangerous for Benelux. Jean-Claude Goddamn has the opener. Chicken played the 1-2 off the throw-in with Edwin van der Sloot and sent in a great cross. Goddamn rising over everyone else to put it in the back of the net. South America 0, Benelux 1. And as things stand, both Benelux and Western Africa would be advancing to the round of 16. Is there a response here for South America? Monroe nearly losing out, but able to pass it back to João Cabral. Tenderloin to Dieter. Dieter nearly losing out to Van Gerritsen. Instead, it's back in. And Monroe off the bar. Almost a great strike by B.J. Monroe. And now a counterattack here for Benelux. Mulder trying to pass it inside, but Kirkpatrick able to stop that from advancing any further. Art de Trea forward to Miedema. Back to De Trea. Hercule Hefeweizen bringing it out of defense now. Jean-Claude Goddamn forced out wide. Crosses in at the end line. Edwin van der Sloot. And what a move that was for Benelux. We'll look here at the replay. It's a bit of a role reversal. Central striker Jean-Claude Goddamn, the one putting in the cross for normal winger Edwin van der Sloot in a central area. Such a versatile Benelux attack, and it's paid off dividends so far in this tournament. 2-0 for Benelux. Philip Pinto winning that pass, though. In for Ripley Dieter. Cross at the end line, and it's almost headed in. It will be a corner kick for South America. Fort Tenderloin standing over it, looking to try and cut into this Benelux lead. And it's headed behind for a corner at the other side of the pitch. Now here is Dieter. Dieter floats it in. Bit of a scramble. Luis Jr. back to Neymarinho. Now Monroe. South America pushed out of the area. Miedema. Now Mulder. Tenderloin getting the foot in, and the referee has given a penalty here. Well, it didn't look like much in it. Tenderloin looked like it made a clean challenge on Mulder there, but VAR has confirmed the penalty, and it's Jean-Claude Goddamn from the spot. And it's in. Jean-Claude Goddamn makes it 3 for Benelux. I have to say, I'm not sure about the initial call, but it's a well-taken penalty from Goddamn. Wilson does guess correct way, but just can't get over fast enough. And so at the break, it is Benelux 3, South America 0. And South America's chances in this tournament fading very quickly. Benelux in complete control of that first half. You see there the XG telling the story. 2.55 for Benelux, 0.49 for South America. It has been one-way traffic so far. Is there time for a comeback for South America? Going to be a bit of a tall ask, but Neymarinho putting the cross in. Colapinto has put it in the net. Well, not long after halftime, there's your answer. South America coming back with a vengeance here. Looking to equalize here despite the odds. It's a great cross from Neymarinho. The finish from Colapinto didn't have a lot of velocity in it, but it's enough to beat Monsieur. And so South America is showing real tenacity to score right after halftime. Chicken now with the free kick from a wide area and only succeeds in giving South America a goal kick. Hefeweizen forward to Van Gerritsen. De Treya trying to pass out wide to Chicken, but instead it's Santos Neymarinho. Counterattack as Ibrahimovic scuffs it wide. What a really dangerous chance that was for South America, but the finishing lets it down. And so it remains 3-1. Mulder. That's it back for De Groot. Vandersloot to Miedema. Now Van Gerritsen from distance. And Benelux answering back, re-widening the deficit to 3 goals. Some very quick passing, first time. De Groot to Vandersloot to Miedema to Van Gerritsen to net. And so it's Benelux 4, South America 1. And the hopes of a comeback might be dashed here. Ramirez, Monroe. Crosses back out wide for Dieter. And Chicken there to win the ball. Chicken dribbling up the near wing. Inside to De Groot and now Vandersloot. But Cabral wins the ball from Vandersloot. Dieter does find Neymarinho there. Potential dangerous chance. Neymarinho near post. Well, it's going to be a big ask at this point for South America. But it's a great goal from Neymarinho. Beating Monsieur at the near post. Looked like it might have taken a slight deflection off of Hefeweizen, but take nothing away from the finish. And South America with 2 goals. 2 down, 2 remain. Will that light the spark they need? Chicken up the near wing for Benelux. Neymarinho in hot pursuit. Miedema playing it to Van Gerritsen, who takes another shot from distance and forces a corner. Another dangerous long-range shot on target for Hannah Van Gerritsen. Chicken sends in that corner and that one goes over. The time running out, South America needing to really get the ball up the pitch if they're to have a hope of equalizing. Monroe's pass, though, off the mark. Not enough velocity for Neymarinho. Now here come Benelux on the counter. Goddamn, challenged by Luis Jr. And Miedema puts it away. And the door slams shut on South America. Jean-Claude Goddamn playing facilitator again. Cutting it back for a good finish from Miedema to cross up Wilson. Benelux once again looking very impressive in what looks to be a fairly comfortable victory. Neymarinho able to get around Vandersloot. Monroe back to Luis. Plays it out for Tenderloin. That cross back in. Monroe from distance. What a shot! Oh my goodness, that was an amazing goal. Let's look at that again. That was taken from a mile out. Tenderloin sent it back in. Monroe hitting it on the volley. And that is a well-worked goal. It won't be a huge help for South America at this stage, but at least they'll have a pretty incredible highlight to take home, courtesy of B.J. Monroe. That cross in for Benelux, held by Wilson, as we watch the final seconds of this match tick away. And the referee calls it there. 5-3 your final score in favor of Benelux, who, along with West Africa, are confirmed to be in the round of 16 of the World Simulation Football Classic. Scores from Jean-Claude Goddam, as well as 3 other players who we'll recap in a moment. It was a valiant effort from South America. Goals from Colapinto and Neymarinho, and an excellently taken effort from a long way out from B.J. Monroe, but it just wasn't to be this time around, as they are officially eliminated from Group A, along with Canada. But there you see Benelux. The scorers, Jean-Claude Goddam with a brace, and your player of the match. Goals also from Van Garrison, Vandersloot, and Miedema. And Benelux and West Africa both advancing, and both, I would imagine, will be very exciting to watch in the knockout phase. And so, Group A, the qualifiers are settled. West Africa and Benelux, and they will play on match day 3 to determine who wins the group. That should be an absolutely enthralling match. But for now, we turn our attention to Group B, where there is still business to settle. The British Isles and Oceania will be our first match in this group, and of course, it is a fairly palpable Anglosphere rivalry here. British Isles coming out in a 4-2-3-1. Sterling Scott up top, Visgrapo in goal. And as for Oceania, it's almost a flat 5-back. Kulishad playing in more of a wing-back role. 3 central defenders. British Isles with a win over East Africa on match day 1. Oceania coming off of a draw with Eurasia. And so nothing can be decided from this group today. This is all about maneuvering for the best possible position. Actually, I take it back. I believe if British Isles win today, they would qualify for the next round. Any other result, and it would go into match day 3. Maximiliano back to Lee. It is Oceania in the light blue and red. Some would call it a periwinkle as Tortellini goes to the end line. Super Hoops preventing a sure goal there. Now it's a corner for Maximiliano for Oceania. Sent in and headed clear there by Smart. Aloisi from distance, and Grappa gets down to stop it. Kulishad with the delivery from the other side. Tortellini has a go from range, but only succeeds in another corner. Some good blocking from British Isles, but they are under a lot of pressure right now. Maximiliano out to the edge of the area. Tortellini playing the 1-2 with Aloisi, and Tortellini sending it wide. Muffin cuts out that pass. Now O'Leary in a threatening position. Squares it to Don Quixote off the post. Chopper Don Quixote narrowly missing what could have been the opening goal. Muffin now sending it back to Smart. Now Hunt dribbling through the defense and shoots, trying to beat Kerrigan at the near post, but nothing doing. Blackman will deliver this corner kick. And Kerrigan holding on. And Dombrowski Maximiliano has gone down here for Oceania, and that is a huge loss. Maximiliano, such a stable presence out on that left wing for Oceania. Maximiliano awaiting treatment from the physios. There's been a bit of a break in the action here. Still 0-0 right at the 20-minute mark. Oceania now have a decision to make. How will they replace Maximiliano's influence out on the left side, and how will this affect the match? And more importantly, how will this affect their chances of qualifying? And it's Roy Bendino who will make their way onto the pitch as Maximiliano taken off. Meanwhile, British Isles coming forward. It's Hunt. Smart in the middle. And the long shot forced behind. Blackman stands ready and sends it in, and it's headed right at Kerrigan. That one had some real velocity on it. I believe that was Scott who sent in that header. But Kerrigan, the veteran goalkeeper, equal to it. Now it's a corner at the other end. Anthony Lee standing over it. That one drilled in and headed clear, but Aloisi gets to it first. Kulishad has a go from range, and it hits the crossbar. And it wasn't far off. It was a very ambitious strike. Ultimately, a goal kick, the only result. And McManus intercepting that pass here. Oceania counterattacking. Tortellini with a great chance, but a poor finish. And so at the break, it is still all square between the British Isles and Oceania. Oceania having that one shot on target right at the start of the match, have yet to have another one. And yet they have produced more XG than the British Isles, who have 3 shots on target, but similarly, nothing to show for it yet. It's balanced on a knife edge, this match. How will the loss of Dombrowski Maximiliano hinder Oceania going forward? And can K. Roy Bendino step up and deliver something special? Still 45 minutes left to play, and this will be a very telling result going into the final match day, whatever it may be. And so the British Isles get us kicked off for this second half. but immediately cede possession to Oceania. Hoppity trying to dribble around the British Isles defense, but cannot do so. Hunt. Back out to Blackman. The diver to Smart. Smart in the middle has a shot and forces the save out of Kerrigan. Don Quixote sending in the corner. It's headed up and away. Ball falls to Roy Bendinho, the substitute. McManus out to the other side to Hoppity. Hoppity in the box, and it's a save from Grappo. Hasn't really had a lot to do today, Grappo, but it is a corner kick here. Lee floats it into the box, punched clear. Or headed clear at any rate. And O'Leary putting it out of danger. Corner kick from Blackman, headed away. O'Leary, though, able to clean it up. Now Blackman in, and Muffin shoots high. Scott sending it back. Super Hoops trying to release O'Leary or Don Quixote on the run, but only finds Kerrigan. Hunt intercepting that pass from McManus. Now Smart. O'Leary sending it back. Hunt forward to Muffin. In the box. O'Leary wins a corner. Blackman sending it in. An outswinging corner. Scott getting onto it. Trying to get around Tortellini, but takes enough of the velocity off of it that the move is stymied. Just over 10 minutes to play, close to 11, and neither team quite able to break the deadlock yet. We've seen last gasp winners already today. Will we see another here? Scott turning around the defense, has a go. Didn't quite have enough velocity behind it to beat Kerrigan. Tortellini into McManus. Oh, we see to Tortellini. Tortellini just wide and was offside. 2 minutes of added time have already just about elapsed, and it's looking like this will be a 0-0 draw. Hunt coming forward. Muffin over the top for O'Leary, unless this changes something, but the shot cleared, and the referee has seen enough. A 0-0 draw indeed is the result. Both sides fighting to get that winner, but couldn't quite get there. A draw, the fair result. Dombrowski Maximiliano, injured in the 20th minute, might have taken a little bit of sting out of that Oceania attack. Ben Nelson, the player of the match for Oceania after that performance. British Isles had a very strong showing on all fronts, but unable to break through what was a fairly resolute Oceania defense. Isles now on 4 points and still vulnerable to potentially missing out on qualification depending on other results. Meanwhile, Oceania gaining another point to put them on 2 for this tournament, 2 points behind the Isles. And of course, pending the result in the other match of today, could put them in either second or potentially third. And so a scoreless draw in Group B between British Isles and Oceania. And now we move on to our final match of match day 2, Eurasia versus East Africa. Eurasia, of course, with that draw against Oceania early on in match day 1. East Africa defeated by the Isles on that same match day. Will be looking to try and get something out of this match to stay in contention. The loss likely wouldn't mathematically eliminate East Africa, but would make it very, very difficult for them to try to qualify. And it's a 4-1-3-2 for East Africa there. Nolan, the holding midfielder. This is a very dangerous East Africa attack when it's online. But it's Eurasia who get us started here, going left to right in the blue. Well, more accurately, the blue and cyan. But what is cyan if not a slightly different kind of blue? That's enough philosophical questions for one day. Here is Casual up the near wing. And it looked like the keeper, Kabiri, almost pushed that behind, but instead was able to keep it out and in play. Fiacre stands over the free kick from deep. Crossed in and headed clear. Shaheen, though, gets to it. 4-2-3-1 the shape for Eurasia. As Fiacre sending it back to the back line. Armaros through to Shaheen. Shaheen! Nearly beating Walverson at the near post, but Duncan Walverson able to hold on. Rashford the second. Trying to dribble past Fiacre and does. Rashford the third. Squares it. And Derbatov ruled offside, but nearly had a really dangerous chance. Rashford the second. Floats in the free kick, and Kabiri holds on. Ivanov. Armaros sends it back. Denkal. Forced out wide. Crosses at the end line. Gerard able to deal with it. Armaros. Out wide to Bamford. Fiacre. Armaros over the top again. And it's George Shaheen! But was he onside? East Africa appealing to the referee, but VAR has confirmed the goal will stand. It is 1-0 to Eurasia. Armaros did well to pick out Shaheen over the top there, making a run past Henry Andrews and delivering it into the net. Let's look at it again. Just barely onside is Shaheen. And it's a great finish to put Eurasia in the lead. Fiacre now floating in the free kick. Ivanov losing out to Heather Bull. The American transfer Heather Bull passes it to Rashford the third. It's in, and Rashford the second. Well, it's another question for VAR. Will this stand? And it does. East Africa have their equalizer. Rashford the third hit the diagonal pass to Henry Andrews, cutting it back for Rashford the second in the center, and absolutely drilling it past Kabiri. And once again, we are all squared. Better battle eventually falls to Cohen. Now Shaheen up the near flank. Back inside, and Genkal a whisker away from putting that in the net. Some very exciting play at both ends. Rashford trying to find Bull but can't, courtesy of Fiacra. Ivanov, Kruskin. Now Genkal making a run. Strong challenge there from Andrews, but it falls to Cohen, and Cohen wins the corner kick off of Duncan Walderson. Corner comes in and is headed clear. Shaheen gets to it though, and it's another corner. Kruskin standing over the corner kick and now delivers far post. Headed away. Hamza gets to it, and Bull intercepting the pass intended for Shaheen. Rashford the third forced out wide, and the move shut down. Rashford the third through to Derbatov. Derbatov squaring it, but Rashford not there, but is now. Well, the Eurasia defense couldn't get rid of it, and Rashford the second pounces on their insecurity. Derbatov played through, put it into the center. Borat tried to deal with it, but it clattered off of Kruskin and into the path of Nico Rashford II. And now East Africa with a 2-1 lead late in the first half. Bamford now. Fiacra. Putting it inside, trying to find Cohen, just barely does. Kruskin. Armaros pressured by Rashford III. Sends the pass in, and Omar Hamza! Well, if it stands, it's a far post equalizer right before halftime, and it will stand. What a move by Eurasia there. And that will change the entire calculus going into the break. Armaros putting in the pass perfectly. Hamza rising above Louis Duck, the defender. And here's the replay. And there you see, well onside is Hamza. It's a beautiful delivery from Armaros and a well-deserved 2-2 draw at the break. Every shot from East Africa so far has been on target, 6 of them in total. Meanwhile, Eurasia with 4 shots of their 7 finding the target. East Africa with an XG lead. Nico Rashford II with a brace for East Africa at the moment. This one, an exciting one for the neutrals, and a really, really terrifying one for fans of either side. This one really could go either way. The next 45 minutes are going to be an absolute treat, I can tell you that. When every point in this tournament matters, these players know what is required of them. A draw preserves the status quo, and each team looking to upend that status quo will be pushing for the win. 45 minutes remain to determine whether either of them is successful. Morrison sending a very long ball. It falls to Rashford the third, trying to find Derbatov there, but Kruskin able to cut it out. And now rushing forward on the counter. Genkal, though, loses out to Gerrard, but Kruskin gets it back. Genkal, Fiacre! And that one tipped behind for a corner. A dangerous move from Eurasia. And now Armaro standing over the corner. Calderon. Gerrard sending it back to Walrusen. Good pressing here from Eurasia, trying to disrupt that pass amongst the East African defense, but they've gotten around it now, have East Africa. Rashford the third through to Derbatov, and what a strike from Dimitar Derbatov. An excellent effort that puts East Africa back in the lead. It was well done by East Africa to get around the press of Eurasia, passing through the left of center, and it's a well-placed strike from Derbatov. Eurasia 2, East Africa 3. Eurasia passing it amongst their defenses this time, trying to find the opening, and they might have done with Shaheen here. Inside to Genkal. Genkal level with the back line, but Walrusen had it covered. And another long ball over the top by Walrusen. Derbatov gets on the header. Ivanov able to block that one behind. Andrews at the end line. Gerrard has a go, but it's blocked. Rashford the third winning that ball. Now here's Andrews sending it back. Andrews dribbling around Shaheen, sends in the cross. Headed at the goal, but Kabiri gets in front of it. Sent long again for East Africa, but this time it's just about dealt with. Genkal trying to find Shaheen out wide, but East Africa cutting it out. Now here is Louis Duck forward to Heather Bull. Heather Bull sends it just inside the far post. And East Africa have started to pull away here. Andrews did well to win the ball, intended for Shaheen, sending it to the opposite side, and Louis Duck putting it forward to Heather Bull, who finishes well opposite post. And now East Africa lead 4-2. Eurasia starting to find themselves in a bit of a hole as that cross just about dealt with. "15 minutes to play, and East Africa have a 2-goal lead, and they have a corner, courtesy of Henry Andrews. Rashford the third. Calderon finding Andrews. Shaheen trying to pressure, cuts it back for Rashford the third. And that ball finds its way behind for a corner kick. East Africa with all of the pressure right now. Looking very good value for their lead. as that corner nearly scrabbled in. Kabiri able to stop it. It was a bit of a goalmouth scramble there, but Eurasia coming away without having to concede another one. Fiacra's pass cut out by Duck, but Fiacra does win it back when East Africa can't retain possession. And what a strike from Leo Fiacra! And with less than 10 to play, Eurasia down just one goal. Casual mishandled the ball. Fiacra was able to find Cohen, got into a better position, received the pass back from Cohen, and drilled it past Walrison. Eurasia 3, East Africa 4. And all of a sudden, East Africa might be a little less comfortable. Ivanov. Armaros having to send it back. East Africa pressing to try and keep Eurasia from formulating a move. Shaheen loses out to Andrews there, and now the counterattack. Derbatov trying to find Duck, but Bull has to chase it down. Bamford forcing Bull to stay out wide. Duck inside for Andrews. Andrews shoots it into the wall. And Casual ruled offside, hadn't played the ball. Time ticking down, East Africa trying to hold on to this lead. Meanwhile, Eurasia trying to find an equalizer. It's Hamza, the goal scorer. Squares it. Headed away. Now Pruskin puts it back for Neslihan Genkal. A star for Buenos Aires, and today, perhaps, the hero for Eurasia. Hamza put in the cross. Cohen went up for it, but Calderon dealt with it. Pruskin squaring it for either Cohen or Genkal. It's Genkal in this case who gets the foot out to redirect it into the net. And just like that, Eurasia coming back from 2 goals down to equalize 4 goals to 4. And it's a free kick from Heather Bull, and that one goes over the bar. Always a danger from free kicks is Heather Bull, but the final whistle has gone. And Eurasia, despite being down 2 goals there late on, have managed to come back to tie it up, and both sides with a point from proceedings. Nico Rashford, Dimitar Derbatov, and Heather Bull, the scorers for East Africa. Shaheen, Hamza, Fiacra, and especially Genkal doing well to score for Eurasia. An excellent match all around. A draw, the right result, in my opinion. An absolutely exciting match, and this is the sort of game that the WSFC is all about. And so a 4-4 draw means that both matches in Group B draw today, and the situation will be more or less the same as it was going into the match. That'll do it for us for match day 2 here at the WSFC. Before we go, there's just enough time to recap the results and take a look at where things stand. West Africa with that last-second nail-biter of a victory over Canada, and Benelux with a 5-3 win over South America sees both those sides move on to the round of 16. Meanwhile, Group B saw a pair of draws, a 0-0 between British Isles and Oceania, and a 4-4 between Eurasia and East Africa in exciting fashion. Still all to play for going into the final match day in Group B. East Africa on the outside looking in, but still with every chance of making it to the last 16. We hope you'll join us soon for match day 3. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, this has been Metafiction. Take care.